On the 14th of April, 1865, a little schoolboy, with his books in a strap thrown carelessly across his shoulder, romped down 10th Street in Washington, D.C. And as he approached Old Ford's Theater, they stood in front a tall, stately man, swarthy of complexion, raven black curly hair, a drooping mustache, and a wondrous kind eye. That man was John Wilkes Booth, who, for the act of a madman, that night swayed the destiny of our nation. The little schoolboy was myself. I've often wondered in the many intervening years whether that man had the terrible crime of that night on his mind. Well, as was my custom, at night I went around the theater to hand out the programs. It was a gala night. Play was Our American Cousin. Laura Keene was the star, and it was her benefit night. Everyone knew the president would be there. The paper had spoken of it throughout the week. The house was packed from pit to dome. The gold lace of the Army and Navy predominating to some extent. The president and his party came late. The second act was on. In the party was Mr. Lincoln, Mrs. Lincoln, Surgeon General Barnes, and Miss Harris, daughter of Senator Harris. And as the party entered the theater, the orchestra played Hail to the Chief. The audience rose en masse and cheered. President Lincoln came down to the edge of the box, and with that sad, sweet smile that he was wont to wear on such occasions, bowed his acknowledgments, and the play went on. I happened to turn my eyes to the right, to the main entrance. I saw Wilkes Booth enter. He spoke to Mr. Buckingham, the doorkeeper, for a few moments. Now he had on heavy cavalry boots, spurs, blue army shirt, and a slouched army hat. As he went up the steps to the right, towards the dress circle, and then towards the president's box, I wondered in my childish way what he could be doing there in such a garb on such an auspicious occasion. I didn't have long to wait. There was a flash and a report. President Lincoln had been assassinated. There are not words enough in the vocabulary of the English language to describe the awful hush fell over that house when the shot was fired. Everyone seemed to realize that something terrible had happened, but no one seemed to take the initiative, till Laura Keene, coming from her dressing room, ran down to the edge of the stage and cried out, "Ladies and gentlemen, the president's been shot," by John Wilkes Booth, when all was pandemonium. When Booth fired the shot from a single-barreled weapon, commonly known as a derringer, he dropped the weapon and drew a knife. Surgeon General Barnes attempted to stop him and received an ugly gash in the arm. Booth got to the edge of the box, leaped over. As he did so, his spur caught in the flag that draped the box. He tripped and fell to the stage. Now history says he broke his leg. Such is not the case. Had Booth have broken his leg, he never in the world could have gotten across that 60-foot of stage. However, he did fracture the small bones in his foot. I shall never forget to my dying day the look of anguish and despair on that man's face as he half dragged and half limped to the center of the stage, with a wild, maniacal stare, brandished the knife above his head, and cried out, "Sic semper tyrannis!" Thus perished tyrants. He managed to get out to the stage entrance, mounted his horse, and drove away.